Good morning, my name is Chris Fox, and today we're talking about the power of affirmations. This is something that I've used for almost a decade now and has changed or helped change a lot of my life to be what I want it to be. And for example, if you look around me, you notice that this is being recorded in a different location. I am actually in a hotel room up in Seattle, which is being paid for by the conference that I'm attending. The PNWA, that's Pacific Northwest Writers Association, is having their 60-second conference, and I've been invited to speak. So they have generously paid for my airfare, my conference room, and a stipend as well. They're giving me a nice check to come and teach a 3-hour masterclass. Now, what does that have to do with affirmations? Well, it's how I got from there to here, because once upon a time, I would say, gosh, I want to go back 10 years or so. So back to like 2009-ish maybe. So almost 10 years. I started saying some affirmations to myself that I was going to become an author. I will be a novelist. I will be an author. I said these things to myself often. And eventually I said to myself, I will be a software engineer, and that became the goal for a while until it was realized. But I've had a series of affirmations, and I say them to myself when I'm driving, usually in the morning, or when I'm by myself, so I don't sound like I'm crazy. But I repeat them, and I do it for a while, and as I am repeating it, I am thinking about all of the things that I already have that are a result of these affirmations being true. So when I said I was an author, I thought about my shelf full of books, and I thought about being invited to writers' conferences and getting to speak and meeting fans, and I thought about all the things that would go along with being an author. And every day I would say these things. And the reason why affirmations work, there's some great neuroscience behind this, and it's been studied very carefully for a while now. Your brain, if it believes something to be true, is going to act like that is true. And if it's not true, it's going to be upset and it's going to try to make it be true. So for example, if I believe that I am a best-selling author and I am not a best-selling author, my brain is going to begin trying to make me become a best-selling author. And using the reticular activating system, it's going to notice anything around you that might help you achieve the goals that you're after. So the exercise, and I think I've done this in a former video, but let's do it again. The exercise is look around your environment, and then after a moment, look around, and this time you are looking for the color red. Do you see anything around you that's red? And maybe you don't. But for most of us, your eyes are now going to notice something that you didn't notice before because you weren't consciously thinking about red, and now you have a reason to do it. Well, when you give your subconscious affirmations, when you tell it, hey, this is the identity that I am working towards, this is the person that I'm going to become, then it starts trying to notice the things necessary to get you there. And I've been doing this again for almost a decade, and step by step, these affirmations have gotten me closer. And I've reached a point where recently an author friend gave me some grief, very justified, where he said, Chris, you got to make some new affirmations, man. You've realized all the things that you want to do. What are your new affirmations? And so I started thinking about that. And starting this morning, I came up with a new affirmation that I'm going to use until it's true. And guys, so I'm being clear here, these affirmations can sound crazy. They can sound arrogant. They can sound like there's no way this is never going to happen. You don't necessarily have to know immediately how you are going to achieve this. So what is my affirmation? I am going to become one of the best fantasy authors of all time. Now, when you say the affirmation, that's actually not how I say it. I say it to myself as I am the best fantasy author of all time. And I'm trying to convince my brain that that is the case. And I'm trying to do anything that is necessary to improve my skills as an author so that when I roll out my epic fantasy series, that it hits with a huge splash and that I can realize this dream. Wherever you are at right now in your journey, if you're working in a job that you hate and, the circumstances surrounding you in your life are not what you want them to be, and you're only able to write in the nooks and crannies, and it seems like you have so far to go to get where you want to be, affirmations can help. And they can put you in a different state. So when I do it, and I learned this from an old Tony Robbins CD back in the day, but what I do is I'll change my physical state. I will put on some running shoes and I'll walk outside and I'll talk to myself, or I'll find a treadmill somewhere, or I'll go for a hike in the forest where there is nobody and I can talk. I'll try to find somewhere I can be alone and change my physical state. And as I'm saying these things to myself, it sort of gets paired up with this state that I'm seeking. So if I have a bunch of endorphins in my head because I'm working out, and I say my affirmations, later, if let's say a week down the road, I do my affirmations without exercising, my brain's going to supply the endorphins anyway. So it's something to mess around with. If you do use affirmations, I would love to hear in the comments which ones you use and how they worked for you. If you don't and you're curious and you want to know more about it, what do you want to know? It could sound a little woo-woo, it can sound a little dorky, but affirmations work. And almost every one of the top athletes in the world, many musicians, actors, authors, we all use them because they work. They get us where we want to be. So I hope this is useful, guys. I need to get back to the conference. I am teaching my masterclass in just a couple hours here, but I'll be back home soon. I'll be back home on Tuesday and then back to the writing, and Crocs Rises is coming along. I can't wait to get back to that. But for now, I'm enjoying my vacation up in Seattle. I don't know how many of you are Shadowrun fans. This is kind of an obscure property. It is a series of novels and a role-playing game. But if you are, it's set in Seattle, and it's kind of neat to see all this stuff that I remember from this game. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get back to the writing. I will see you next week.